Hi, my name is Captain Barb Carey, and I just want to show you how I get my boat ready for each season. It's a real exciting time, and you might get a phone call that the fish are biting and want to rush out. So make sure you take care of your boat and just check it over before you go, and don't be that person at the boat launch that's having problems. So the first thing I'm going to do is an exterior inspection. So I'm going to start out up here. I'm going to check my straps. It's not really a big concern for me because this is a newer boat, but some people have older boats, and that's something that you want to make sure that you check. So you can just, while it's on the trailer, peel some out, check it out, make sure that there's no fraying. As we go along the exterior, one big thing is tires and wheel bearings. How many times have you seen a trailer on the side of the road with a wheel bearing out? And that's when the whole tire falls off the axle. So it's something you want to really be mindful of. So here, there's seals in there that hold grease. So whenever you're traveling with your boat, when you stop for gas or something, always get out and touch these. And if they feel warm or hot, you got a problem. There's not enough lubrication in there, and you want to get that serviced as soon as possible. That's really a danger sign. So my bearings, underneath here, there's a little grease fitting that I can add grease to them. You have to really be careful that you don't add too much grease because it'll blow out on the back side. It'll blow that seal out. And this is the voice of experience talking because I've done that before. Checking the tire pressure is really important. It'll be right on the side of the tire, how many pounds of air you need in there. Check with your tire gauge, make sure that's right. Tires on both sides of the trailer, and don't forget the spare. So you get to the back, you want to check the back straps too. That's really important. And have a buddy over and check all the lights. Get the truck running, hit the left and right blinker and the brakes, and just make sure all the lights are working properly. So on the motor, what happens is this part down here, the lower unit, has grease in it. And if for some reason there was a leak in that last summer, and then over the winter, if the temperatures were really cold where the boat was, that can potentially crack. So you're looking for any signs of any leakage, grease dripping, anything like that. Even coming down here from the prop, there are seals inside that prop too that sometimes fishing line can cut through. So that's why if you have fishing line in your prop, you always have to make sure you get that out right away. A lot of people service this in the winter where they remove the screws here, drain all the grease out, and put new grease in just in case there is any water in there. It's not going to freeze and crack and break anything. So always just double check, make sure you don't see any grease. If you serviced it in the fall, you should be all set. Now we're pretty much going to do the same visual inspection on the inside of the boat. You want to check all the compartments, even the glove box. There's one time that I opened my glove box and I found a mouse nest in there. And mice are notorious for chewing on wires. So you really want to kind of prevent that in the fall going into winter, and you got to watch for that because they can do a lot of damage. So visually check all the compartments and your safety equipment. Like in here, I'm required to have flares on the Great Lakes. Well, these flares have an expiration date. So I'm going to look right on the flare and be mindful that they're not expired. This one goes till September of 2023. And there's only like a 3-year shelf life on these. The other thing that all boats are required to have is a fire extinguisher. So this you also have to do a visual inspection on and make sure that little pointy thing is in the green. It has to be charged and ready to use. You don't want to have an emergency and get it out there and find that it's not charged any longer. And you will receive a citation if you don't have one of these in the boat in working order. So the other thing is there's lights on the boat. So I'm going to check the lights on both the bow and the stern to make sure the lights are working. One very important thing is the batteries. The batteries run the whole system. Now this battery back here is the battery that starts the motor. And what I'm going to do is visually inspect for any corrosion. I'm going to make sure that these connections are tight, and if need be, I'm going to put a charge on this before we go to the lake for the first time. I've seen it yet this year even where somebody goes and they're launching their boat and now they're out in the water and it won't start. You know, some of this stuff is just common sense. You got to check on that stuff. And when you go to launch your boat for the first time, don't take it off the trailer until you're trimmed down and you start the motor and everything's working properly. You know, you don't want your boat floating out there and not have the motor work, and that'd be a disaster, especially in a river. Now these batteries up here, these are what operate the trolling motor. So I took out, there's a cover that goes on here, and there's also a rod holder. I took that out so you could see. And in the middle there, that's an onboard battery charger. So there's a plug I have outside here, so when I get in from fishing, all I have to do is plug that into my garage outlet, and it's going to charge these 3 batteries. But it doesn't charge the starting battery in the back. So this is just for a 36 volt trolling motor. Same thing, I'm going to check all the connections, and when I plug it in, the lights illuminate on that onboard charger so I can tell that all the batteries are fully charged. Other important safety equipment to have on the boat is life jackets, and all boats need a throw cushion on them, so make sure you don't forget that. You know, these do kind of get old, and you got to kind of visually inspect them, make sure they still float at some point during the summer. Same thing with the life jackets. That's an important, very important piece. And speaking of life jackets, these life jackets are very popular, the auto-inflate ones, but it's very important to check this dial in here, and it says right on there, service if red. These need cartridges. If you buy one of these at the store, you have to activate that. They don't come with the canister to activate it in there. That is something you have to do. So just don't take it out of the package and put it on and think you're good to go. I've seen that happen, and we're out in big waves and 300 feet of water, and that's not what you want to do. So read the directions. Each brand is a little bit different, but basically you have to screw this in there, and then it'll show green if it's activated properly. So every year you got to check that, because once in a while they'll just kind of lose their ability to inflate, and then you'll see that light indicated in red. So there's usually a window there to check that. That's really important. One last thing I do is, you know, obviously when you go to launch the boat, you put the plug in. But I like sitting in the water there for a little bit just to make sure that nothing else is coming in. I'm going to be checking these compartments. This compartment here opens up. I can see the bottom inside the boat. And I can see if any other thing is leaking in there. One year I had a onboard washdown, and that wasn't winterized properly, and it busted. So I didn't realize it at first, but once I got out in the water, I realized that I was taking in water. So I had to kind of fix that. I actually fixed it with a plastic bag until we could get to shore. But, you know, your bilge pumps, your live well pumps, turn all those switches on and make sure that it's working properly. If you put antifreeze in your live wells for the winter, make sure you get a hose and just run some water in there and kind of purge some of that stuff out, so none of that stuff gets discharged into the lake water. But that should do it. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments here, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Being prepared is really important because it saves you time, money, and embarrassment. So make sure you go over everything before you head out, and good luck to you this season.